Ready for some soccer NAC semifinal action. It's a soccer doubleheader. First of all, we have the men going at it in the North Atlantic Conference semis as the Castleton Spartans host the Lyndon State College Hornets. And then later on, it'll be the women's NAC semifinals as the Castleton Spartans will be hosting the Johnson State College Badgers. I'm Jack Healey on board with Mike Coppinger, who is the assistant varsity girls soccer coach at Rutland High. Weston Wheeler is our producer. Tom and Brian, our camera people. And the game today, not only live, both games on the Northeast Sports Network, but also on Channel 20, PEGTV in the Rutland area with our producers there, Michael Valentine and also Chris McCormick. Now, Castleton is the number 1 seed in the men's tournament, as the Spartans did receive a bye to the semi, and Castleton going up against number 4 Lyndon. Castleton 13-5 overall on the year. The Spartans have won 4 straight games entering play here today, outscoring opponents 23-2 during that span. The Hornets come into action with a record of 11-3-3 overall. And on Tuesday, Lyndon defeated Maine Maritime in the quarterfinal round in the NAC tournament 4-1 to advance against the Spartans today. After falling behind 1-0 in the 14th minute, Lyndon answered with 4 first-half goals from 4 different players to earn the victory. Head-to-head in the season series, the Spartans hold the all-time advantage over the Hornets with a record of 44-7 with 5 ties, and that up to this date, including the action this year. Since 1998, Castleton has only lost once in 11 games, 9-1-1, taking the last 8 straight games against the Hornets, including the last 4 by a shutout, pushing the Lyndon scoreless streak to 378 minutes, 46 seconds against the Spartans. Earlier this year here at Spartan Stadium, the Spartans defeated Lyndon 3-0 as Trevor Catrati led the way with a goal and an assist. On the year, Josh Costa leads Castleton and the NAC in goals with 14, assists with 7. That's 35 points. Catrati currently ranks second in the NAC in all 3 categories, 9 goals, 6 assists, 24 points. And for the Hornets, Patrice Lamumba is second in goals in the NAC with 9 on the year, third in points with a total of 21. Now the winner of this matchup will play the winner of the other semifinal game between Thomas and Maine Farmington in the NAC championship game on November 6th at the highest remaining seed, a time to be determined. But we might add, since Castleton is the number 1 seed, if Castleton wins this game today against the Lyndon State College Hornets, Castleton would host that championship game coming up on Saturday, November 6th, and we would have it for you on the Northeast Sports Network. Like to welcome on in Mike Coppinger, as we mentioned, assistant girls varsity soccer coach at Rutland. He's been on board with us all year, offering his expertise, and we appreciate it. And it's a cold morning. Of course, this is an 11 o'clock start time at Spartan Stadium. We have the women to follow at 2 o'clock. And there is a breeze as you look out from your vantage point on your video screen or TV screen. The wind pretty strong going from left to right as you look out. Overcast skies, temperature probably in the low 40s. It's a cold one, but hey, it's that time of the year. And happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween to you, Jack. Nice to see you have your mask on today.
Yes, yes, I do. And I figured I was a little bit more better looking by putting this mask on today.
But yeah, Jack, as you had mentioned, it is a little chilly out there, and a lot different than a lot of the games that we've had. They've been picture-perfect days that we've broadcast Castleton soccer games, and this is quite the turn. Not necessarily for the better here, and might have actually a chance for some of the white stuff to come down depending on if the precipitation kicks up or not. So that's definitely going to play a factor in the game today. A little bitter out there, and it's a semifinal game, and this is an exciting thing. 2 state colleges from the Vermont area going at each other in the semifinals.
You know, by the numbers, by the way, in the NAC this year, Castleton is number 1 in the league in shots, Lyndon number 3. Castleton number 1 in the league in goals, averaging 2.78 goals per game. Lyndon is number 2 at 2.18. Castleton's number 1 in the league in assists. Lyndon is number 3. And goals against, Castleton is number 1, 1.00. Lyndon number 3 at 1.18. So statistically speaking, even though Castleton has a long winning streak against the Hornets. Statistically speaking, this is really an even matchup, even though, again, Castleton's the number 1 seed and Lyndon the number 4 seed.
Yeah, Jack, as you said, on paper they match up extremely well. And you have to go back to Lyndon's previous game against Maine Maritime, putting up 4 goals on the board. Very impressive in a playoff game like that for Lyndon to toss 4 up on the board. So that's going to be a real key for Castleton today, is to their defense to get organized from the beginning to try to choke off that offense of Lyndon State.
Castleton was 7-0 in league play during the regular season. Lyndon 4-2-1, now 5-2-1, including its quarterfinal victory to earn the right to play here at Castleton here at Spartan Stadium. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Lyndon State College Hornets. And the Hornets are coached by Peter Kellaway. And starting off for the Hornets in goal, number 00, Jason Gray. He is a rather large goalkeeper, 6'4", 211-pound sophomore from East Thetford, Vermont. Starting at midfielder, number 5, is Kyle Meacham, a 5'10", 165-pound junior. He's from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Also starting for Lyndon State, number 8, Matt Brown, midfielder, 5'9", 175-pound freshman. He's from Seymour, Connecticut. Starting at forward, number 9, Patrice Lamumba, a 5'8", 150-pound sophomore from Burlington, Vermont. Starting at forward, number 10, T. Coyle, a 6', 205-pound sophomore from Northfield, New Hampshire. Starting as a defender, number 11, Luke Haskell, 6', 160-pound junior from Ellsworth, Maine. Starting at midfield, number 17, Tyler Bullard, a 5'9", 135-pound senior from Hyde Park, Vermont. Starting at a defender spot, number 18, Kyle Waterman, a 5'11", 180-pound junior from Belmont, New Hampshire. Also starting at defense, number 19, Patrick Hilton, a 5'9", 200-pound sophomore from Lyndonville, Vermont. And number 22, Emmett Simpson, a midfielder, 5'10", 175-pound freshman from Barton, Vermont. Again, Jason Gray is the goalkeeper, 6'4", 211-pound sophomore from East Thetford, Vermont. For John Werner's Castleton Spartans, starting in goal, number 1, Andy LaCroix, 6'2", 195-pound senior from Jamaica, Vermont. Starting at defense, number 3, Jacob Roswell, a 5'9", 145-pound sophomore from Hartford, Vermont. Starting at forward, number 4, Trevor Catrati, 5'7", 125-pound sophomore from North Clarendon, Vermont. Starting at midfielder, also at a forward spot, number 5, Josh Costa, 5'8", 150-pound senior from Sutton, Massachusetts. Also starting at midfielder, number 8, Billy Lund, a 5'4", 135-pound sophomore from Munson, Massachusetts. Starting at a defender spot, number 11, Anthony Bueller, 5'10", 165-pound senior from Castleton, Vermont. Starting at forward, number 12, Nick Howlett, 5'6", 130-pound freshman from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Starting as a defender, number 13, Ian Hunter, 5'11", 170-pound sophomore from Ellington, Connecticut. Starting at midfielder, number 15, Jacob Ferry, 5'9", 150-pound junior from Warwick, Rhode Island. Starting at defense, number 21, Tanner Liquier, a 5'9", 190-pound sophomore. He's from Plattsburgh, New York. And starting at defense, number 22, Nick Jonas, 6', 155-pound junior from Niskayuna, New York. Again, the goalkeeper for the Spartans is Andy LaCroix, number 1, 6'2", 195-pound senior from Jamaica, Vermont. As the Hornets in the green and gold, the green uniforms with the gold numerals, and the Spartans in the white home uniforms with the green numerals. The Hornets being introduced right now at Spartan Stadium. By the way, just paying us a visit in the press box, Castleton President David Walk, and he will be with us at halftime of the men's game, as we'll be interviewing President Walk and all the wonderful things he's done here at Castleton State, including the house that Dave built, Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, most definitely. He said he'd be more than happy to come in at halftime. He was just going over with me all the great things that he has going on here in athletics, field hockey, and of course the football game the other day, and these two games today. So busy times over here at Castleton State College.
Well, we were here yesterday for volleyball as Castleton in playoff action defeated Green Mountain, and we were here in football as Castleton blasted Becker 53-6. And we were here for field hockey late yesterday afternoon as the field hockey team, an easy win over Thomas College 8-0, and advances to the NAC semi at St. Joseph's of Maine this coming week. That was our final field hockey game of the year because everything else will be on the road. We could have another soccer game coming up on the men's side next week if Castleton wins. Also, there's a possibility, even if Castleton should lose, there's also the ECAC tournament, which Castleton undoubtedly would have a home field for that as well. And I know we were here for a men's ECAC playoff game last year.
Yeah, and it's got to be interesting as you start to creep into November. What kind of weather you're going to have? It could in Vermont, it could go either way. You could have blue skies and 50s, even the 60s, or you could be plowing off the field. You might have to get the snow plows out, and like the old Patriots game there with the plow cleaning off the field.
You have to get a guy from a work release program to come out and drive the plow too, by the way. So Castleton being introduced. John Sivert, we do recognize one of the officials. We'll get the official word at halftime. And Megan McCann will be singing our national anthem for the start of this next semifinal matchup in men's soccer.
As we honor America with the singing of our national anthem by Castleton senior Megan McCann.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Another nice job by Megan McCann. Speaking of President Walk, we were in the next booth over where the SID people are and so forth, and the public address announcer here at Castleton, Jeff Weld. And President Walk said to Megan, I thought yesterday when you sang the national anthem, and she's sung the national anthem before games for the last couple of years, soccer and hockey and basketball and what have you, and also the other sporting events. Said, I thought you did your best job ever yesterday. I said, boy, you really put the pressure on her for today.
and with as cold as it is out there, to keep those windpipes nice and warm. And she's a senior, boy. They're going to have to do some heavy recruiting to get somebody to fill her spot next year.
Of course, before field hockey games, generally a couple of the players do it. Samantha Funk and Stephanie Poprosky. And Stephanie was not at the game yesterday. She missed the game because of an injury, but a couple of the players actually, come to think of it, for the field hockey do sing the national anthem. Get a load of the size of the Lyndon State goalkeeper, Mike.
Yeah, he's a massive figure in net there, an imposing figure in net.
Jason Gray, he's 6'4", 211 pounds. East Thetford, Vermont, he's to your right. Andy LaCroix for Castleton, pretty big guy himself, to your left. Lyndon State going right to left in green and gold, and Castleton going left to right as you look out in white and green.
Now, I got to tell you, from the Lyndon State point of view, that's actually not what I was looking at. I was looking at the hairstyles on some of these guys over here. It looks like they went to the barbers or in somebody's dorm room there and did each other up. They have mohawks. They have the Friar Tuck cuts. They have a lot of different haircuts down there, showing a little team unity. I like that.
And they are going to go trick-or-treating after the game, apparently, a little bit later today. And, of course, this is part of our package as we cover both Castleton and Lyndon State sports, the Northeast Sports Network, headquartered in Lyndon. Our CEO is a Lyndon State grad, and he is a member of the Lyndon State Hall of Fame. As Lyndon State controlling here in the early going. Again, the winner goes on to the championship game. If it's Castleton, Castleton would be hosting the title game coming up on Saturday, November 6th. Again, a time to be announced. As the Spartans control, they try to feed it on the left wing toward Nick Hallett. Brought back the other way, Simpson, number 22 for the Hornets. The Curl was not given to us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Curl, I was going to say he was not given to us as a starter, but he is onto that starting lineup. Phil Curl, 6'2", 175-pound junior from Camden, Maine. We might have left him off the introductions here at the beginning of the game. Jacob Roswell, number 3, chips it ahead. Catrotti. And the big guy, Jason Gray, comes out for Lyndon State.
Yeah, for a big guy, he really moved off his line very quickly right there as Catrotti was coming down on the near side line and did a nice job of smothering that ball right there. I saw him as he was warming up earlier, Jack, the keeper for Lyndon. He can actually jump that his head, almost his shoulders, are even with the crossbar. That is some big ups.
Well, we mentioned 6'4", 211, the sophomore from East Thetford, Vermont.
So I'm assuming he probably went to the Thetford Academy. Or Hartford, one of the two probably.
And all the way in on Gray. Here in the first half, Lyndon State going against the wind, Castleton with the wind. As you know, and we actually, it's more the case, you see it in high school, but certainly possibility in college. But in high school, you do see, it's not unusual to see, doesn't happen every day, but see a number 16 knock off a number 1 or a 15 knock off a number 2. You probably see more upsets in soccer than any other sport as far as that's concerned. You know, a lot of that has to do certainly with the wind conditions. And
wind conditions, field conditions are another thing. In college, most of the fields are all a universal size. They're usually, 120, maybe 150, and I'll get to that just in a second, Jack.
Patrice Lumumba along the near sideline. And back to knock it away, Jacob Roswell for Castleton, throw in for Lyndon State. Just underway, 41:50 to go in the first half. It is scoreless.
So, most of the college fields are all universal size, but you get down into the high school ranks, and a lot of the fields vary in size just because of the fields that they're having to play on. You have a lot of teams.
Catrotti through the area.
You have a lot of teams that are actually playing on modified football fields or their own soccer fields, or in some case, like down in Brattleboro, they actually play their games on a field hockey field. So the field size can shrink or could grow larger depending on the school that you're playing. And that a lot of times, if you have a fast team playing on a small field, that can really slow things down for you and choke it off.
As the throw in for Castleton, headed out of there by Hilton. Back in on the big goaltender, Gray up to get it.
But I think it goes without saying, Jack, in a game like this, a playoff game like this, where you have both teams that, can be on edge a little bit, the first goal is so crucial. Not necessarily a death sentence, but definitely crucial to get that first goal to kind of get into the driver's seat as early as you can.
Meacham out toward the center of the field on the right to Waterman as Lyndon State controls. Back to Coyle. Or actually, this is Hilton again through the middle. And here comes Catrotti. Gray comes out and kicks it away from Catrotti. Over the line, near sideline. Just about at the top of the 18.
Again, another great opportunity for Castle, and that's about 2 opportunities they had. Didn't necessarily get the shot off, but an offensive threat nonetheless.
Well, the Spartans looking to control here is Costa trying to get a foot on it on the way through inside the box, and it goes across the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick for Jason Gray.
So that's about the 3rd opportunity, Jack, that the Lyndon State, defense that just seemed to be on their heels a little bit, allowing Castleton to slip in behind. And if they don't change that around, Lyndon that is, if they don't change that around, they're going to find themselves down a goal or 2 here early.
And actually doing the honors, Hilton up to the center circle. Lumumba with it. And about the 45. He's it on through the middle. Roswell back to knock it out along the near side. Bullard, number 17, on the throw in for Lyndon State. Now Curl with it. Back toward the top of the arc. Knocked out of the air by Liquier. Costa ahead now. Here's Catrati, and it's going to be offside.
Offside's only about 10 yards into the defensive side of Lyndon. That's how much that Lyndon pulled up to get that offsides trap. And that may be a game plan that they'll look to do throughout the game, is to really pull up and keep things tight and compact to try to get Castleton offsides as many times as possible.
Lyndon State trying to put on something offensively here. Meacham on the right wing, Waterman. And about the 35. Simpson, number 22 for Lyndon State. Jonas, number 22 for the Spartans. Feeds it all the way in on Jason Gray. It's an all Vermont summit here. Lyndon State, the Hornets, and the Castleton Spartans at Spartan Stadium. 38-40 to go in the first half, scoreless. Berry, number 15 for the Spartans. Here's Gray now. He'll punt it out of there. Against that rather strong wind.
Still gets some good distance on it.
Back to the center circle, knocked the other way. Anthony Bueller, number 11 for the Spartans, and again Gray comes out.
Yeah, that's impressive. In the wind right there, Jack, and he's still getting great distance on it. Looks like we're going to have a push on that 50-50 ball. That's where you see a lot of the fouls on those 50-50 balls, a goal kick or a punt like that. There's a lot of jockeying for position right there, and you'll usually get some pushes as both players or both teams are going up for the ball.
Restart, Jonas. Takes it toward the top of the arc. This is Emmett Simpson along the far side. Simpson controlling against Nick Hallett, number 12 for the Spartans. Simpson still with it. Simpson tries to thwart his man. Anthony Bueller knocks it across the line. Throw in for Lyndon State across the way. Hallett, number 12 and number 11 Bueller for Castleton. Again, Castleton in white.
Another offsides there.
Yeah, Costa was well ahead. Costa and Catrati, certainly key players up front for the Spartans.
Well, I tell you, I like the style of play that Lyndon's doing with this offsides trap. We do it a lot at Rutland, really keep things tight and compact. When you're dealing with a high-powered offense like Castleton has, it's a great way of just slowing things down.
Simpson trying to get to it inside the 18, and Simpson will do the honors on the throw-in along the far side. Inside the 18, out toward Costa, went right by Waterman.
And again, Jack, I gotta say again that it seems like this Lyndon State defense is a little lackadaisical when it comes to balls played at them. They're stepping up nicely to get that offsides trap, but they're not playing the ball too well with their feet and moving it around and playing it out.
Coyle is number 10, went by him, but banged back into Lyndon territory. Here's Catrati on the right wing. Catrati inside the 18, lets fly, and it goes right in on Gray as he makes the save.
So first save right there for Lyndon State, and first shot on goal for Castleton, right to the keeper, but Catrati got a good hard shot down low. That's what you want to do, is want to keep it low, make the goalie make the save.
Want the punt to be relatively low, too. That time you could see, even though he got it out toward the center circle, you can see the wind take that one, but here come the Hornets the other way on the right wing. It's Emmett Simpson. Pair of 22s, Jonas number 22 for Castleton.
It appears it'll be a goal kick as it came off the line, or went off the line, excuse me. So I just wanted to go back about the offside trap. Again, I work with mostly the goalies and the defense at Rutland High School here in Vermont, and that's one of the things that we really work on is getting the defense to step up and get that offsides trap. You can live and die by it, though, Jack. If you get it too tight and you have a referee that misses a call, which happens occasionally, you can really die by it. But in the college setting, when you're dealing with 3 referees, you have the referee in the middle and the 2 referees assistants who basically work the lines that call the offsides call with the flags. You're much more likely to get those offsides call. In high school, you only have 2 referees, which are stationed on the side, and they also have to come in a little bit to try to make those calls in the center part of the field. So there's an opportunity for them to miss a call. This is a much better setting to run the offside trap here in the college ranks.
Why don't they do it in high school then? Just because of cost, or?
That's a great question. It could be cost. It could be availability as well. Availability of referees.
Meacham had it for a moment. The Spartans trying to get it toward the 25 to Costa, back out toward the half line as backtracking Coyle for Lyndon State. Now Curl across the half line. Curl getting a return pass attempted by Brown back out toward the center circle. This is Bueller. Tripped up, knocked down. A restart for Castleton.
Fans disagreeing with that. I'm assuming we have a pretty good contingent of Lyndon State fans down here. As I look down, it's on a cold day. It's still a pretty good crowd here.
At Spartan Stadium. You can see the crowd there on your screen up above in the stands. This is Nick Jonas for Castleton. Again, Castleton in white and Lyndon State in green and gold. Jonas toward the 25, and that is Lumumba up the middle. Lumumba on the right wing. Lumumba going to Coyle, back toward Lumumba. Great move inside the 18 on the left wing. Jonas comes back, though, and grabs it from Lumumba along the near sideline. Patrice Lumumba, he is out of Burlington. Back out toward the 30. Knocked back into Lyndon State territory. And Gray came out to the top of the 18 to knock it back out toward the half field.
It's hard to miss number 9 for Lyndon, Lumumba. He's got those yellow cleats on there, but
yeah, he does.
But I tell you, with the moves that he's shown here in the opening few minutes, he can definitely wear that. He can back that up. He's got some great moves. He's going to be exciting to watch today.
Right on cue, he was on a battle there with Jacob Roswell. And the throw in for Lyndon State. The Hornets scoreless with 32:15 to go here in the first half. You got the score and the timer on your screen. Lumumba inside the 18. Hit the side of the net.
Yeah, he got the shot off there as he was surrounded by white jerseys of Castleton, and he had probably about a 2-foot opening to try to get that shot off, and got the shot off. And unfortunately for him, it was just to the side of the netting, missing the goal.
And LaCroix will boot it out to the half field. Spartans with Jacob Perry. It's been a long time since Lyndon State has defeated Castleton in men's soccer. 9-0-1. Castleton 9-0-1 in this decade. Right wing, Catrati. Catrati races inside the 18. Spartans still control. That was Lund, number 8. And then number 11, Anthony Bueller.
You know, Jack, and I know you're I know you're a sports professional and everything, but I always get so frustrated with sports guys that will bring up that fact that a team hasn't beaten another team in so many years or so many times, because one doesn't have anything to do with the other. With all due respect, of course.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying that as a statistical fact. That does not mean it's going to happen today.
That's not a foregone
conclusion. As a matter of fact,
conclusion.
I am a firm believer the one game absolutely. You know what really bothers me is when people talk about momentum in any sport from one game to another. I don't believe in momentum from one game to the other. They always talk about it in the World Series and in baseball and everything. Every game is a separate entity. So when I said that Castle is 9-0-1 in this decade, merely a statistical fact, I agree. It has nothing to do with this game. Absolutely not. And as we Talk about that at the goalkeeper's box. Just misconnected with Lumumba.
It reminds me of when I took stats in college and we were talking about statistical likelihood and the flipping of a coin. And if you flip a coin 5 times and it comes up heads every time,
doesn't mean
that, it's got to be tails the next time around because it doesn't have any memory.
I say that about the lottery, too. If you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and it comes out,
it's the same statistic.
It's the same statistic
That's
the
right.
next day. Drives me nuts. So actually, I'm right with you. I agree with you. You know, you could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the lottery. If it comes out, you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
People would say, what are the chances?
Yeah,
well, the chances are the same.
The same.
That's right.
No, and it's amazing how many people don't understand that.
Yep.
So I appreciate the all due respect, but I do agree with you 100%. One game has nothing to do with another. When you say that, it's just a matter of talking about statistics. Yep. That's just that's the record in the decade. Does it mean in this? Then you might as well not play this game.
Play the game. That's
what
right.
The heck? It's 9-1-1.
That's right.
You're right. It drives me crazy.
So we got a foul, Jack. Looked like it was a trip right here, and this is a dangerous spot. This is a great opportunity for Lyndon to get a shot on net here, as you can see there. Going to set up for the free kick.
This is Hilton moving it on through the area and headed out of the area, top of the 18, but a shot goes out of play, and that was Bullard, number 17, that took a shot at it against the strong wind here at Spartan Stadium. Scoreless with 28:45 to go in the first half.
Yeah, Bullard got a good volley right there. I think it was a half volley, actually. Sailed it on just over the net. He was about on the 18 when he took that shot.
Headed back onto the Lyndon side of the field, knocked down by Meacham. Center circle. Spartans look to control. It's moved on through, and Waterman back, and nice job chasing him down. Hallett. But Lyndon will control here. Nice job by our camera people, Tom and Brian, our producer, Weston Wheeler. Here's your score. Lyndon and Castleton scoreless with 28 minutes to go here in the first half at Spartan Stadium. The North Atlantic Conference semis. Castleton is the number 1 seed. Lyndon number 4. If Castleton wins, Castleton would host the championship game on Saturday the 6th of November. Lund. The right wing. They move it on through. Costa there. Couldn't get to it. Headed out of there by Lyndon State. Now here's another opportunity in close, and the score for Anthony Buehler. Anthony Buehler, once he played it right there, he was all by himself. Gray had committed, and Buehler bangs it home, and the Spartans lead at 1-0.
Well, Jack, what a great individual effort by Buehler right there as he settled it down, made a couple of nifty moves. He almost juggled that ball with his feet into the area, crossing over the 18 and getting a great shot on. And quite honestly, there was no chance right there for Lyndon State's goalie to make that save. And hopefully, Jack, we'll have a chance to get that replay right now. But what a great individual effort as Castleton goes up 1-0.
And we do have it coming up. Let's take another look at it. Buehler on the goal.
You can see Buehler, he's going to handle it. He steps up right here, makes a nifty move, getting his foot out there, touches it around ever so slightly. And look, there is nobody around there for defense, puts it on. He didn't wait to take that shot, Jack. Got it off immediately in the back of the net.
And Lyndon State, as we come back to live action, putting on some pressure, but Spartans get it out of there. And as you saw, Gray committed, and Buehler did a nice job of keeping it under control.
Yeah, Jason Gray had nothing else to do there other than step up because his defense was beat, and there wasn't going to be any chance. He was going to be taking a point-blank shot. And, as a goalie, you're taught to come out on the man like that. But Buehler, I can't say it enough, a great individual effort getting that shot off. And he stepped up at the right time so he could win control of that ball. And as I said before, Jack, that first goal is so crucial to kind of get yourself in the driver's seat and feel like you have control over the game.
I believe the assist might be going to Lund. I didn't hear the announcement, but I believe that was Lund that passed it ahead to Buehler.
Now, they're saying that there's no assist on that, Jack,
no assist,
and there was quite a few touches by Buehler right there, so that would make sense that it was unassisted.
Wasn't direct. So the Spartans have a 1-0 lead, so it was unassisted. Here's Buehler again. Costa is ahead. Costa sent it behind Buehler at the 25. Buehler, though, back heels it to Jonathan. He kicks it in on Gray, and Gray comes up with it. Would have gone wide anyway, but he'll kick it out of there. Such a great play, as you mentioned there, Mike, by Bueller. But once he still had it controlled and Gray had committed himself, there was no doubt.
Yeah, with being in so tight and beating the defense like that, that's a 1 in a million save to be able to make, even given the size that Gray has. And I didn't see the foul, Jack, on the near side, but nevertheless, it will be a restart for Lyndon State. I'm assuming it's probably some sort of push or trip of some sort.
Restart, Luke Haskell, number 11 for the Hornets. Moves it on through the area. Knocked out of there by Liquier. Up to Costa. I love that front line. It is Catrati. You got Bueller. You also got Costa. Costa down the middle here. Now Bueller. Nice job. Top of the 18. Still looking to control. Still with it. Out to Costa. Couldn't quite get it through to Costa. Curl at it, but you know, it's sort of like you got Lund, you got Catrati, you got Costa, and you also have Bueller all up front for the Spartans, very quick.
And all of them are committing great pressure, really getting in the face of that defense of Lyndon State, causing those turnovers, fighting for every single ball. Even if it just gets off their foot a little bit, they're up there pressuring, trying to get those turnovers.
Dominic Heller will be checking in here soon for the Spartans as the restart for Hilton. Patrick Hilton, who is from Lyndonville, Vermont, moves it on through the area. Lumumba there, and he scores. Oh, my, what a play off the restart. And right there, banging home, Patrice Lumumba, and the Hornets have tied it at 1.
Well, Jack, that ball originated on a free kick restart all the way on the other side of the 50, kept it nice and low into the area, and yeah, fell down to the foot of Lumumba as he was able to just poke it home inside of a crowd of people, not only Castleton, but also Lyndon State players that were up there. And Lumumba was able to get Lyndon State on the board right now, 1-1 with 24:01 left. Hopefully we get a chance to catch that replay, Jack. You'll see that 50-50 ball start on the other side of the 50-yard line as it sails in, keeps it nice and low. And it falls right to the foot of Lumumba. He was actually breaking with it. Great anticipation at his point. And LaCroix he came out on it, wasn't able to get a hand on it, but poked it home right there, right where it needed to be. Johnny on the spot.
Hilton, of course, was on the restart, but Curl also gets an assist. Hilton and Curl assist on Lumumba's goal. He's out of Burlington, Vermont. Lumumba.
And Curl must have been the one that stepped up for the header that nicked off of his head a little bit. But, boy.
You know, at first look, it looked like it went all the way through to Lumumba. He played it, but Curl was in the middle, so he got an assist as well. And, of course, the restart by Hilton.
Yeah, Jack, and you see, and we've said it before in other games that we broadcast, you see so many goals that come off of restarts, and that was a perfect example. And that was on the other side of the 50, Jack. That was a heck of a boot, and he kept it nice and low.
And it was against the wind,
And it was against the wind, and that's why you got to keep it low. You keep it low, the wind won't have a chance to carry it and have it hang up there. You keep it nice and low, it'll stay on a line for you.
So that ties it at 1, coming down at 22:50 to go in the first half. It's the NAC semis in men's soccer here at Spartan Stadium. Number 1 seeded Castleton Spartans, number 4 seed Lyndon State College Hornets. Costa on the right wing to Catrati to Catrati on the right wing again. Toward the top of the area. Trying to feed it on through. We had mentioned that Heller was going to check back in. That's Heller number 9. This is Lund. Back out now to Jonas. At about the 45. One hop in on Gray, and Gray comes out and grabbed it before Catrati could get to it.
Well, I guess so much for what I said about getting that first goal and being in the driver's seat is Lyndon really did a great job in that restart, perfectly executed.
Lumumba sent it toward the middle, Meacham. Along the near side, looking to chase it down, Bullard. Coyle through the area. Headed out of there, and Ferry with it for the Spartans. Catrati. Costa, Catrati trying to get to it, but over to intercept the Hornets, Luke Haskell. Meacham knocked down. Restart, Hornets.
And Jonas is going to get called on the foul right there as he stepped up all the way from the fullback position to pick that ball up and went in a little bit hard. Now we're going to have another restart. This one is closer, so let's see if it's any more dangerous.
This is Hilton who got the assist on that other goal, one of the 2 assists. Again, maybe a little bit too much on that one, obviously. It just flew in on against the wind all the way in on LaCroix.
And that wasn't even on net exactly. It was a little bit to the near side as LaCroix came out off the line out of his goal to actually make that grab.
Back to grab it, Waterman. What you say, when you head it back toward the goalkeeper can use his hands. You notice on the high punt, that's when the wind really grabs it, and that knocked it down considerably. Brown back to Hilton. Across the half line, here's Haskell. Back out to the center circle, Bueller. On the right wing, Catrati. He's got Costa through the middle. Costa plays at the top of the arc. And he banged it in on Gray, and Gray easily makes the save.
Well, that was still a nice shot by Costa. It's actually his back was to the keeper with the ball at his foot, and he was able to spin around and get an actually pretty high-quality shot on net, which is most important. But for Gray, the big guy that he is, was able to make that save just reaching up a little bit to his left side.
Hilton heads it to Haskell. Across the half line, knocked back into Lyndon territory by Ferry, and it'll be a throw-in for Lyndon State's Luke Haskell. 1-1 with 19:48 to go in the first half. Men's soccer in the NAC semis. Number 1, Castleton. Number 4, Lyndon. At the center circle, Brown controlled, and on the near side is Lyndon back in its own territory. Comes across to Waterman. Center circle across the half line. Chips it ahead to Curl. But back to grab it, Jonas. And he feeds it on the right. Let's see if Catrati gets to it. He does on the right wing. Catrati for Costa, and Costa with a one-timer.
That was actually a really nice ball by Catrati on the near side to be able to get that through. And Josh Costa, with a man right on his back, following him the whole way in, was able to get somewhat of a shot on. Fortunately, it wasn't to the corner. It was right to Jason Gray, the keeper for Lyndon State.
Here's Bueller. Needs it to Costa. Costa toward Catrati, and
offside.
It's going to be offside. Just offside.
Yeah, just snuck in. But, Jack, again, I like the pressure that the midfielders and the forwards for Castleton are putting on this defense of Lyndon State.
Got a good one going here in men's soccer in the semis of the NAC. 18:30 to go in the first half. Mumbo's got the Lyndon State goal along the near side. Backtracking nicely, the Spartans get it out toward the center circle, the half field. Costa sends it ahead, knocked down by Hilton. Hilton brings it back the other way for Lyndon State, the Hornets. Through the middle to Meacham. Brown is number 8. Back out along the near side. Good view of the referee, and the throw in there by number 11, Luke Haskell. Number 9, Dominic Heller for Castleton. Lumumba along the near side. Seems to be a difference of opinion here. I see the pointers going everywhere. Throw in Castleton. Bueller has got the Castleton goal. Lyndon State trying to get something going offensively. Liquier goes down. Pass comes out to Brown. Feed it through the areas. It came out to Curl, trying to feed it through, and here's Bueller, center circle. Pass Costa. It'll roll all the way in on Gray.
Yeah, he was trying to feed, Bueller that is, was trying to feed somebody up front, quite possibly Costa, but didn't, had a little bit too much pace on it as it rolled all the way in on Gray.
The wind really knocks that down. Catrati, though, couldn't control. Coyle, sending it ahead to Simpson. Center circle, Brown with it. Back to grab it, Fury for Castleton. Heller is changed places with Catrati. Heller's on the right, Catrati on the left. Catrati toward the far side, but nearest us on the stand side, the press box side here at Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, you see that a lot, Jack. Just saw the midfield wing swapping sides a little bit, maybe to get a different matchup with whoever's defending them, or possibly just to give one or the other a break. A lot of times the play's coming hard on one side and somebody gets kind of run down a little bit. You swap the other sides to get somebody else involved in the play.
I'd like to check at halftime if we can, Mike, on the status of Chris Mulholland. If I don't know if he's under the weather or has some kind of an injury, but he's been a big part of this Castleton club. Center circle, Bueller on the left wing, Catrati. Catrati plays it inside the 18. Had it blocked and knocked out of there. It was blocked initially by Waterman. Come the Hornets, Simpson. Send it on left to Coyle and Meacham now. Tough angle in on LaCroix, and LaCroix will boom it with the wind.
Well, Lyndon putting together a nice offensive burst right there. Some nice give and goes along this far side as they work their way all the way up. And couldn't quite get that cross to land as it kind of floated in, and relatively easy save, or not necessarily a save, but an easy grab for Andy LaCroix and net for Castleton.
Here's Bueller down the middle, moves it through the area. Costa, and it was bumped out of there. Costa couldn't quite get to it. Waterman came over and made the play. Curl number 15 across the line, across the way. Castleton will be a throw-in for the Hornets. Meacham to the center circle. Trying to feed it up toward Bullard. Now Hilton. And again, Bullard trying to chase it down, but the Spartans control with 14-10 to go in the first half, tied at 1. There's Bueller. Bueller and Brown. Out is great. He just got it away from Costa, coming down at about the top of the box. Bullard. Back toward the center circle. Bueller. Back to grab it. Coyle on a nice play defensively, and Meacham with it now. Lumumba. Banked out of there by the Spartans. Lund. Jacob Roswell along the near side for Castleton. Leads it on through the area as Bueller trying to get to it, top of the box, but knocked back out. Pass Costa. Back out Heller. Out toward the center circle as Lyndon State controls. Coyle at the half line. Lumumba, they wanted to get it to him at about the 30, but couldn't get it through to him. Here's Catrati the other way on the left wing. Catrati. Through ball and trying to get it to Heller, and it's going to roll out along the near side. Nope, not quite. Kept in nicely by Meacham. Meacham to Haskell. How concerned would you be with this wind? Is it, I mean, it looks to me like a factor, but fairly strong. And Castleton is going with it. And concerned in the sense that if you're Castleton, here's Jonas, and way up the 6'4" goalkeeper, Jason Gray.
Yeah, 6'4", and he used every single inch of that to grab that one as that almost sailed up and over and just tucked in under the crossbar. Going back to your question, Jack, about the wind, if you're going against the wind, if you're going against it, you want to be able to hold your opponent even or maybe even steal a goal, because in the second half, if you have the wind going with you, that is just a huge advantage. So Castleton really needs to walk away this first half with at least a goal up.
Yeah, and it's at 1-1, so of course that goal by Lumumba tied it at 1 apiece. If Castleton took the wind, I'm I'm trying to remember who started it off at the beginning of the game. I assume Lyndon did. And Castleton took the win, but would it be possible to take your chances in the first half? Would you always go with the win in the first half, as Castleton has? But
I always choose to go with the win in the first half for a couple of reasons.
You can't take the chance of.
Well, you want to get up early, number one. Number two, you know the wind is happening right now. There's always the chance that the wind is going to die later on. And so that's about as predictable as you can get. I always like to go with the wind in the first half if sun is not a factor. That's the other thing. And in a gray day like today, there's no sun. So I take the wind in the first half, try to get up early, and then pack it in, play defense in the rest of the half. So it'll be interesting to see with Lyndon having the wind in the second half how that's going to play.
Here's Liquier on the restart down the middle through the area. Comes back outside the area. Catrati. Acosta controls. Back out front. Lund chases it down. Number 8 with Lumumba. Heller had it blocked. This is Ian Hunter now at the 25 with Lumumba. Back out to Roswell. Moves it on through the area. Couldn't get it all the way through toward Bueller. Back out toward the 35. Across the half line. Tipped Coyle on the right wing to Simpson, and he doesn't like the call.
Well, no, the problem with the call from the Lyndon State side is they actually had advantage, meaning there was a foul that was committed back here on the 40. However, Lyndon remained control of the ball. They had possession, and normally a referee would not make that call and call an advantage call because the foul didn't placate them from having possession of the ball, and that's what you see the Lyndon bench so upset for.
Here's Hilton on the free kick. This is the one that had the free kick on the restart before, where Lumumba eventually got the tying goal, and he's got quite a leg to kick that against the wind. Got it all the way through the area from about 50 yards out. Played by Haskell. Lyndon State in green. Moves it across the half line. Coyle. Lost it, Liquier. Liquier to Berry, and then Catrati couldn't keep it in. In is number 13, Andrew O'Brien, and number 21, O'Brien is number 13. And also checking in is Richard Hackett for Lyndon State.
So a change at the midfield position, and it looks like two changes at the midfield position.
Yeah, the other one was O'Brien, number 13.
No, I beg my pardon. A change up front, number 10.
For Lyndon State?
For Lyndon State. Yeah. He stepped off late there. Actually, the play had
he's
gone
off.
on.
Coyle.
Yeah, he was a forward up front who was helping to feed the ball a whole lot up to Lumumba.
8:20 to go in the first half. Castleton and Lyndon State tied at 1. Spartans with the wind here in the first half. Behoove them to score a goal here. Liquier. Costa on a chase. Great speed there by Bullard.
Yeah, he was actually about 4 yards behind Costa, and he was able to catch up to that ball.
Roswell. Costa on the right wing. Lund. Jonas. And a great save by Gray. And they try to move it through the area. Tried to move it through at the top of the box. Bueller was standing there, but it's back out toward the half field. Hunter. The Ferry to Liquier. Lund now. Roswell. Costa at the arc, knocked back out toward the center circle. Jonas. Jonas getting it back from Lund. Had the right idea. Jacob Berry wanted to move it on through for Costa coming down the middle, but too far. And played by Gray with 6:52 to go in the first half, tied at 1.
Looks like we're gonna have a push jack right there in almost inside of that center circle. as Bueller went up for it and he got nudged a little bit from underneath. So Castleton will have the restart free kick.
And it is Tanner Liquier, number 21. Moves it on through the area. There's an opportunity. And Costa is robbed by Gray. Oh, my.
Well,
Costa getting it from Ferry, and Costa just robbery by Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just pure reactions right there as Costa put that shot on hard. And Gray went over to the side and took that one right in the tummy and was able to smother it down. But a poor job on on the Lyndon State defensive side of settling that down. We're going to take a look at that replay right now, Jack, as Costa put a point-blank shot on Jason Gray, the keeper for Lyndon. Free kick right there, sails in, and it's going to come right down. See, a poor job right there of clearing it out as it slides over to Costa, and he puts a point-blanker on. Woo! Right into the belly of Jason Gray. Great save. Big one there.
Lyndon State putting on some pressure while we were away from the live action with that replay.
And it looks like the foul was committed right on the edge of the box as a quick restart comes.
They move it through the area, top of the goalkeeper's box, but knocked out of trouble by the Spartans. All the way back onto the Lyndon side of the half line. Waterman will throw it in with 5 minutes to go first half. It's 1-1.
Boy, Jack, you got to be impressed with the end-to-end action that we've had right here. This game is everything that it was built up to be in beforehand. It's just been great.
Waterman. Here's Jonas now controlling for the Spartans. On the right wing, Heller, and it's a tough angle.
It was a tough angle. That ball was carrying down. His momentum was carrying him down. He was lucky to even get that cross off as it was falling over the goal line right there. I believe that was Billy Lund that got that cross off, yes?
It was Heller.
Heller, excuse
me.
Number 9. Yeah, number 9.
Lund is number
right
8.
There, yep.
Out at the half line. Here comes Lyndon State now. Trying to move it on through was Hackett, who had just checked in. Bueller has scored the goal, sent it up to the center circle, but now the Hornets controlling with Meacham. Meacham down the middle. Poked away, back to Bueller now, and Bueller, number 11 for the Spartans, controlling. Bueller chases it down along the near side. Now Heller is ahead of him. Has it along the near side. Gary's number 15 awaiting. Now here's Heller now along the near side. Back to Bueller. Now Costa chips it toward Heller at the side of the 18. Heller at the top of the 18 tried to play it and banged out of trouble by the Hornets. It'll be a throw-in for Roswell along the near side. 1-1 with 3:08 to go in the half. Here in the NAC semis. This is Liquier. Down the middle. Chips it ahead, backtracking there, O'Brien. Simpson lost it to Jonas. Jonas now on the left wing. Catrati tried to come over and play it. Simpson's number 22, and it'll be a throw-in for Castleton Catrati.
And again, Jack, that was the example I was using of the great pressure right there. Nice pressure put on by Trevor Catrati that caused that turnover for him to kick it out of bounds like that.
Simpson, O'Brien, Lumumba. Back to O'Brien along the far side. Chips it ahead to Simpson. 21 is Hackett, who was a late. He came in at the same time O'Brien did. Here's Catrati. Down the middle, Costa would have been offside.
Yeah, 2 guys right there for Castleton were caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Stepping up a little bit too much, but again, a good example of Lyndon just doing that offsides trap perfectly. I mean, that's about 12 yards inside of the half right there for him. So they're really tightening it up.
Nice job by Catrati. Back to Jonas to Catrati. Tied at 1 with a minute 48 to go in the half. Catrati feeds it on through on the left wing. Costa trying to chase it down, and it goes across the goal line. And Looks like maybe the wind died down just a bit, but get a good read on it here. Again, Lyndon State is against the wind in the first half here, and of course it'll be Castleton against the wind in the second half.
And as I said, when you're going against the wind like that, you're hoping to just hold your opponent to either scoreless or come out with a tie, and that looks like it's just what's going to happen right here with just over a minute to play in this first half.
Here's Hilton, the center circle. Back to Liquier. That seals out along the near side with under a minute to go in the half. President Walk will be talking to us. We'll be talking to President Walk here at halftime of the men's semifinal game here at Spartan Stadium. Quick throw in for the Hornets. Bullard getting it back along the near side. Moves it through the area. Lumumba there, but LaCroix comes out top of the box to pick it out of the air.
Lumumba right on the doorstep right there, right in the face of Castleton's goalkeeper LaCroix, and he was able to sky and get that ball, pull it right down. But it seems like the offensive game plan right now for Lyndon is to feed it up to Lumumba as much as possible. He does have some nifty moves up front there.
3 seconds to go in the half as Liquier plays it, and we are at halftime here at Spartan Stadium. The North Atlantic Conference semis at halftime. It's 1-1. Castleton and Lyndon State. We'll be talking to Castleton President David Walk here in just a couple of minutes, but first let's take this time out from Castleton.
Why did I choose Castleton?
Castleton is big enough so there's a lot to do. It's small enough so I can really get involved.
Sports.
Theater and music.
Radio and TV.
Internships and community service. There's a real sense of community.
And lots of opportunity.
And Castleton is in Vermont.
That means hiking, biking, skiing, and riding.
Visit castleton.edu to learn more about Castleton.
We're back at Spartan Stadium. We're at halftime. Just recapping 1-1, Lyndon State and Castleton, the Spartans and the Hornets. And first off, the Spartans got on the board at the 17:28 mark of the first half. Anthony Bueller, his third goal of the year, was unassisted. Then Lyndon came back to tie it at 21:30. Patrice Lumumba, his 10th of the year, from Phil Curl and Patrick Hilton. That's where we stand right now, 1-1 in the NAC semis. Of course, the winner advances to the final of its Castleton. Castleton would host the championship game here, a time to be announced, but it would be Saturday, November 6th. Quickly, Andy LaCroix 1 save, Jason Gray 6 saves, so that tells you Castleton's really taking play offensively, but on the scoreboard it's 1-1. But right now, we're going to talk to the president of Castleton, David Walk. The house, we're here at the house that Walk built, at Spartan Stadium. And Dave, good to see you. Of course, I see you all over the place here and there, but people have talked about it. Boy, everything David Walk touches turns to gold. He's got the Midas touch, but just what a tremendous year it's been for Castleton sports. And we can start off, and certainly this is soccer, and we want to talk about soccer, but the football program is the newest program. Yeah. They said it couldn't be done. We're all just looking at the record now. Yesterday, Castleton won its 5th game of the year. And they're 5-1 in league play. Just unbelievable.
Well, we're really pleased. You know, we have an incredible team here, and the team means all the way from Deanna Tyson, our athletic director, and Tim Barrett, and all the trainers, coaches, the support staff, and the faculty here. And we've got great kids. Castleton students are, in my view, just a different breed. 450 of them are student athletes. It's about a quarter of the student population, and they've got you've heard me say this before, I know, but they have a higher GPA than significantly higher than the rest of the student population, higher graduation rate. All of them are involved in community service. There have been so many wonderful, poignant, meaningful stories that have come out of our investment in sports here and in the student athletes. Just this fall, you know, our women's tennis team wins the championship. Golf comes in second. Volleyball won the quarterfinals yesterday. men's and women's soccer #1 seeds. We're seeing that here today. We're able to host those games, and if they win, they'll be playing next Saturday. And then you mentioned football, which has sort of captured the imagination of a lot of people in this area and throughout the state. You know, when you have 4,000 or 5,000 people coming to games, and on NSN, we haven't seen the figures, but you know, tens of thousands of people who are tuning in. It's been wonderful all the way around, and there's so many wonderful stories that have transpired. One of which yesterday was Chad Bentz. I don't even know if you know what happened there.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
I saw Chad for just a little bit. Chad Bentz, for people that don't know, he was born without a right hand, and people know about his baseball skills, of course, similar to Jim Abbott, who was his hero.
Exactly.
I hope I remember the youngster's name. We mentioned
Alex
Crossman from
Alex.
Texas. His mom had read about the
That's
Chad
right.
situation and heard about it, and Alex has been up here, I guess, for a couple of days. He was one of the honorary captains.
He carried the flag out
in
and
midfield here.
he was there from the pregame breakfast. I was actually in the locker room with them after the game yesterday, and so his mom Nancy and Alex come up here from Texas. Chad and his wife Christy, and they have a daughter. They found out about Chad through an AP Wire story about Chad, who's a Major League Baseball player. Meets Rich Alercio. All of a sudden, he's playing Division III college football. He's 31 years old. He's a student here. He may actually try again to get back into the majors. That's his dream.
Well,
he may do
good.
something in the spring. At any rate, she writes to actually Chad's wife, Chris, and they're here this weekend. And they had a mix-up where they missed a flight out of Texas. And so Chad and Chrissy Friday night drove to Boston and picked them up and brought them back here. And later today, I'll be opening the gym because Chad's going to teach Alex how to pitch one-handed.
Wow.
You know, the way Jim Abbott did. He would tuck the glove under his arm.
Right.
And this is just there's so many wonderful stories that come out of this.
It's amazing.
You know, the football team cleaning up the cemetery in Rutland, the field hockey team leading CVPS employees, of which there are a couple thousand, in collecting food for the community cupboard food shelf and setting all kinds of records doing that. What the women's soccer team is doing to raise money for Alzheimer's research, and all the public service that these students perform, it just warms my heart every day. And every day it keeps getting better,
It's
Jack.
amazing. It's amazing. It really is quite a story. With us, President Walk, Castleton, Presidents won Castleton and Lyndon State here at halftime of the NAC semis in men's soccer. You mentioned the cemetery, cleaning up the cemetery and Alzheimer's. The goal, a certain amount of money goes per goal.
They've raised $6,000 already for research.
And of course, they play later on today. Field hockey team, by the way, also won yesterday.
Yeah,
to go to the
that's right.
to the NAC semi last night, or actually late yesterday afternoon, 8-0. You know, I could talk to you for an hour or two about this, for 3 hours about what's going on here at Castleton. And you know, you got students from all over the country, and I know you say it a lot, but and you're proud of it, and we'll say it again. The GPA for student athletes is greater than the
3.15 versus
and it's greater than
2.59.
the students as a whole, and a lot of that has to do with the. And I wish I knew as much when I was in college, or tried anyway. That that tells you that they budget their time. So when people say, "Well, I don't have time to play soccer," or "I don't have time to play football," the fact of the matter is, it's good for you because you budget your time better.
Absolutely.
That's what these guys do.
You know, we
Guys
have
and
a few
girls.
other things going on here that you and I haven't talked about in a while. One is that we're making some very significant renovations to the Spartan Arena, where you'll be broadcasting hockey games. We're going to have a whole new media area for you and seating area. We're putting in a fitness center there with spinning and showers and bathrooms upstairs there. The whole interior of the arena has been renovated. So it's going to be great for you. You can go work out before you broadcast the game.
Yeah, or while I'm doing it. You know, I've been over at the Spartan Arena for a couple of months.
But your new home's going to be nicer.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing out back here at the stadium, we're going to be demolishing the physical plant building and everything behind it, the salt shed. And on the tennis courts, we're going to be building a new dorm that will overlook what we see here, you know, this beautiful landscape with balconies, so students can actually look at some of the games as well.
I know that's just
safely. And then we're going to build this new pavilion, which will be a gateway to the stadium. And all the tailgaters will be together before the games, but also it'll be a venue for concerts and graduations and we won't be running a 10 again. So it's just it's part of the plan, the master plan that we've had to develop this whole area. Now, across the way, I don't know if your viewers were able to see that we made a little change this week. That's 140 boxwood trees, Jack.
The
spelling
Castleton sign across the way.
Yeah, we're talking about the Castleton sign, and
which is on the same side as our camera.
So maybe they didn't see it.
I don't know if they can look down at it or not from across the way, but anyway.
Well, when you come to Spartan Stadium, something new, just below the big scoreboard across the way in front of the woods, you'll see the Castleton sign, and now you can really see it. I don't believe there are any white marble chips left in Rutland County after they went out and bought them out this week, but we wanted it to stand out. Skip Pratico did such a great job with the landscaping here, and that's 140 boxwood trees, and the story is that when it was spec'd, they were going to be arborvitae cedar trees. And Skip told me that all the deer would have thought they were at the Sirloin Saloon, so we changed it to boxwood trees.
And of course, that was part of your opening speech
That's
a
right.
year ago.
That's right.
I remember all your great speeches. You know,
well, there aren't too many of them. So.
You know, David Walk, JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King. Hey, President Walk, thank you very much for dropping by. You're welcome to drop by at halftime of the second game.
I may do that. I'll be here to watch a women's game too.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I love. Jack, I've known you forever, but I love listening to Mike Coppinger because he really knows soccer.
Oh, yes, he does. Yeah, he really does know soccer. Really
I always get educated by Mike Coppinger.
And I always get nervous if he isn't here 3 hours before game time.
I feel like it's paying forward because I had him in class in 1993 or 94, 95 school year. Had him in class. I learned a lot from him. He was a great teacher.
I got to get him on Healey Standard Time, and that means 3 hours before game time. But anyway, Dave, thanks. And we'll catch you in the next game if you want to drop by.
All right, we'll for sure.
Women's game coming up. Thank you. All right, we're set to go for second half action. Again, our thanks to President David Walk here at Castleton. It's the NAC semis. Of course, the winner advances to the championship game. And the championship game would be here if Castleton advances here at Spartan Stadium. Castleton, the number 1 seed. Of course, Lyndon, the number 4 seed. Castleton going right to left as you look out. And the goalkeeper to your left is Jason Gray for Lyndon State. Lyndon State going left to right. Lyndon State will get the wind here in the second half, and that is Andy LaCroix in goal off to your right. Now, the sign that Dave was talking about, Castleton's sign, is right under the scoreboard as we're looking across. It's opposite from your view there on your screen. We had changed our camera location this year, so we're pointing toward the press box and toward the stands, but that's well, we couldn't show you the shot of the Castleton sign here, but Mike Coppinger has joined us, and we have the word on Chris Mulholland, I guess, huh?
Yeah, Chris apparently earlier in the week had come down with strep throat, and apparently it's progressed even more. And he's actually home in New Jersey right now trying to recuperate a little bit.
Well, if he's listening in, we'd like to say hi to him, and certainly hope he's back before too long. And Chris Mulholland listening and watching in on the internet down in New Jersey.
And obviously a key component to the offense for Castleton State is he was a wing midfielder, and that's something that Castleton's had to do without in that first half, and now walking into the second half with a 1-1 tie.
And again, Lyndon going with the wind here in the second half. But you talked about it. The wind, it's relatively strong, but I'm not sure that it is as strong as it was in the first half. As you said, you never can guarantee that the wind's going to keep up when choosing which way to go in the first half. But it is 1-1. Again, the goal by Castleton Anthony Bueller, his third of the year. Patrice Lumumba, his 10th of the year for Lyndon State. As this will go in on Gray. Yeah, President Walk, he's done so much. I'll tell you, it's the complex. We talked about Spartan Stadium here, where the soccer and football and field hockey lacrosse are being played, but adjacent is the baseball field. Adjacent to that is the softball field. They're both beautiful facilities here. Here's Lumumba, and oh my, what a save by LaCroix.
Yeah, Lumumba slipped in the back there, Jack, and caught everybody by surprise. And I don't think he got quite as good a shot off as he wanted to, but still, LaCroix had to go down and make a fingertip save.
So we've seen both the sides, Gray and also Gray on Costa earlier in the game in the first half, but late in the first half, and right there LaCroix. It's 1-1 game, just underway in the second half, 42-40 to go in regulation.
Jack, you mentioned the baseball field just adjacent right here, and believe it or not, I can look over and see some players taking some BP out there. That's got to be cold.
It sure does. Here's in the area, and LaCroix gets a piece of it. That was Coyle coming in.
Yeah, Coyle, again, he slipped in behind Castleton. Castleton coming out a little slow here defensively as they've allowed two players to slip in right there. And LaCroix had to make a point-blank save as Lyndon will be awarded with the first corner of the game.
Yeah, here's the corner kick, and it goes through the area, and it was Coyle trying to get ahead on it. And, whoa, another great save by LaCroix. He's had 3 here. He's kept his team in the game here. Curl on the shot. Spartans quickly into Lyndon territory, but Lyndon controlling. Now, Lyndon's really taking the play here early in the second half. Lumumba. And the throw-in will be Lyndon State. Bullard. Coyle number 10. Catrotti now on the far side. Costa inside the 18 on the right wing. Trying to move it across, knocked back out to about the 30, and here's Lund with it on the left wing. Roswell looking to chase it down. Now Catrotti. Had a chance there, went by Costa. It was, the wind took it a little bit. Back out toward the 35. Back to Roswell on the right wing. Moves it through the area. Try to bend it in on the left wing. That was Ferry coming in, number 15. Lund. Stopped at the top of the arc. Hilton moves it out. Coyle, Lumumba. Here's Lumumba in space on the left wing. Lumumba looking. Moves in. Lumumba shoots and scores. Oh, my, what a play.
Lumumba right there with the goal, Jack. Early on here, putting Lyndon State ahead in the second half, 2-1. Nice ball fed up to Lumumba, and he just made a couple of nifty moves right there. And his speed and his moves are a dangerous combination as he touched that one with the outside of his foot, beating LaCroix to the near side post.
Lumumba with a goal, his second of the game, 11th of the year, 2-1 Lyndon State. What a tremendous individual effort. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Jack, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see him get the ball right here, and he's gonna contemplate what move as Castleton's coming over to defend it. And you're going to see him put a hard move on right there and then taps this with the outside of his foot right there. Oh, beautiful shot. Catches the side netting and puts Lyndon State up 2-1. Excuse me.
Costa trying to get to it. By the way, since we have two, and again, a long way to go here, but we'll have a post-game show one way or the other since we have the situation. Same with the women's game coming up where we are part of the programs of Lyndon State and Johnson State. Johnson State Castleton's opponent in game 2. And you're looking, right, the coach is Kellaway, I believe, for Lyndon State. Peter Kellaway. Doesn't have it on the roster here, though, does it? Through the middle. Back out to about the 30. Looking to Meacham. Send it through the area.
Well, Jack, I think both you and I recognize that Lumumba was going to be a heck of a force to be reckoned with. Probably about the first time the ball hit his foot early on in the game here. A lot of speed, a lot of skill out of Burlington, Vermont, and he's put his team up right now 2-1.
I like what you were saying. We were shouted out after the goal. I thought it was Richie Valens there for a minute.
Not to say I've been waiting a little while to use that one, but I was waiting a little while to use that one.
On the right wing, Simpson. Simpson out toward the 18. Shovels it in. Coyle, but out LaCroix. Did he get to it? Went across the line.
I don't think he got a hand on it, and that's why we're going to have the goal kick coming out.
So 2-1 Lyndon State with 38:22 left here in the regulation, the second half.
Castleton right now having a bit of a crisis of confidence. They've definitely come out sluggish in this second half.
Lumumba. Gonna watch him in space. He went behind Coyle at the arc. Lumumba, they're right there. And out is LaCroix.
And he saved that from going off the end line, which would have resulted in a goal kick. And he actually brought that in from outside of the area, dribbled it inside so he could pick it up with his hands. That was a nice individual effort there. You don't. That's one thing that, you know, even though you're a goalie and use your hands a lot, you still have to develop your foot skills throughout the year. And he was displaying some nice foot skills there.
Throw into Ian Hunter, number 13. Bangs it into Lyndon territory, headed back the other way by Haskell. Bueller's number 11 for the Spartans. Number 8 is Lund, and the Hornets dressed in green back across the half line. Simpson shovels it ahead along the near side. Coyle, number 10. And a man to send in Simpson, but out to grab it was LaCroix. Spartans back the other way. Jacob Fury, number 15, toward the center circle. Chops it ahead now to Bueller, who's got the goal for the Spartans knocked down. It's going to be a restart for the Spartans. By the way, the officials are David Barra. He's the referee. The assistants are Craig Henson and John Sibrit. This is Tanner Lequier. Moves it through the area. Knocked down. The wind knocked that down. So that was certainly a factor that time. Back out toward the center circle, and Hunter bangs it ahead. Yeah,
Ian Hunter banged that one in, but unfortunately everybody from the Castleton forwards and midfielders had to come back on side as Lyndon was doing, again, a great job of that offsides trap, pulling things up. And again, for those viewers out there, Jack, that are unfamiliar with how offsides work in soccer, it's the line is basically an imaginary line that is delineated by the last defender, the last player back on the defensive side. So whether that's the sweeper or the stopper, that's where it is. And you have to be on the other side of that man. Or, obviously, if you're the ball carrier, the ball obviously would determine offsides in that case.
Tim Sherman is in 16 for the Spartans. Who was not an original starter, Tim Sherman, number 16. Lequier out toward the half line. Trotty. Fury. Bueller trying to chase it down center circle. That's Meacham. Meacham again at the half line. Bullard. Bullard still controlling. Bullard. Lumumba. A little better pass. It would have been interesting there, even though Lumumba plays it. And now back out to Coyle. That's Lund to take it from Bullard. Costa at the center circle. Castleton in white, Lyndon State in green, and Lyndon State has a 2-1 lead with 34:30 to go in regulation. Catrotti inside the 18. Catrotti can't get a good angle on it.
Well, on the far side, Trevor Catrotti did a really great job of settling that ball down on the run, on the fly, as that ball was played up over to him. Got it down to his feet. That was very impressive, but unfortunately just couldn't get the good quality shot off on net as it sailed wide.
Lumumba with the 2 goals. Castleton had led 1-0 on the goal by Bueller. It was 1-1 at halftime. Lumumba tied it with his first goal of the game, his 10th of the year, and he's put Lyndon State ahead with his 11th goal, second of the game. And nice play. Ian Hunter headed that past Simpson before Simpson could get to it, and Simpson, as you might have noticed, had Lumumba on his left side. Costa along the near sideline, quickly back the other way. You're right, Mike. Certainly a good game. A lot of end-to-end action here. And certainly the skill level, you're talking about two teams that are in the Final Four here in the semis. Moved on through and picked out of there by Gray.
Castleton seems to not be able to really penetrate up through the middle. All of their offensive chances in the second half have come by the way of the cross, and that's usually a low percentage offensive opportunity when you're crossing those in. You're looking for a header or even a possible volley. If they want to get better scoring opportunities, they got to try to penetrate through the middle.
Simpson, a coil back to Simpson on the give and go. Coming way out is LaCroix. And he punts it out of there.
Well, Jack, we had mentioned it before, but this is, this is a real tough combination right now. You have Lyndon State up by a goal, who has the win in the second half, much like we talked about. And now if you're Castleton, you're trying to get back on top or at least get things even, and you're going against the wind, which can prove to be very tough. So that's a tough hurdle for Castleton to try to overcome.
That's why I asked you about the possibility of thinking ahead, but you can't take that chance because you want to jump out in front. And as you mentioned, you don't know if the wind's going to die down a little bit, but it's actually picked up here in the last 5 minutes or so as we look at the flag to our right, to your left.
And that's a great thing for Lyndon and a tough thing for Castleton to have to deal with.
Lumumba. Banged out of there. Lumumba's from Burlington. Patrice Lumumba. It'll be the quick restart for the Spartans. Ferry. Out of Bueller, center circle. Knocked down top of the arc. That's Hilton. Lund there. Costa again trying to get to it. Banged out toward the half line. Knocked down by Hunter. Curl on the left wing to Bullard. It'll be a restart, Lyndon State.
And again, Jack, this is just on the other side of the 50. First goal put on the board by Lyndon was almost on the exact same spot, but just flipped around going the other way. So this will be with the wind.
Here's Hilton. He's got quite a leg as he moves it on through the area. Just inside of the 18 was Lumumba. That spun around just a bit. Simpson on the throw-in for Lyndon State. Simpson, number 22. Curl. His job defending the Spartans. Costa on the left wing along the near side. Costa toward the 18. And Catrati parked at the top of the box.
And that should be a corner right there as Costa was coming down and that ball was knocked away. And I believe, Jack, this will be Castleton's first corner of the game.
Yeah, we've only seen one on each team. It'll be Costa on the corner. See, Hunter moving on through the middle, and Hunter had a little bit of a collision there with Gray as they knock it back out toward the 35. Catrati to Lund. Now it's Jacob Ferry. Catrati on the right wing, inside the 18. Catrati moves in, moves it across, and they just misfire there in front, but still keeping it alive out front. Who was that coming down the middle? Was it Costa? I believe it was. Catrati just couldn't quite get it to Costa. Bullard along the far side for Lyndon State. Chips it ahead. Wanted to connect with Lumumba, and it goes out of play here. Lumumba. Lyndon State controls again, though, and it's Bullard. On a battle with Lund. Bueller couldn't control. Curl with it. Along the far side on the left wing. To Coyle. To Lumumba. To Coyle. Back to Lumumba. Inside the 18, but over to knock it away. And out. Nice play. Number 15, Jacob Ferry for the Spartans.
Boy, Jack, it might be cold out here, but the action is definitely keeping all the fans and everybody on the field warm. I mean, this is just great end-to-end.
This is the best game we've had all year.
And what's interesting, Jack, you start to analyze things a little bit more. Castleton has basically been sitting on the sideline since the 23rd of October, have not played a game. And so you have to wonder how that plays into things. Lyndon, of course, playing not that long ago.
They did have a bye, but, and people say, well, maybe it's better to play. But, on the other hand, the bye means you've automatically won the game. So, time to heal injuries and things like that. You certainly, I know what you're saying, but, yet on the other hand, that's another game you have to win.
Exactly. So it's interesting.
Costa toward the arc, right wing, Catrotti. Catrotti, nice move, and he just bangs it high.
Trevor Catrotti with some great moves on the far side, touched one way, back to the other, and was about 12 yards out as he put that left-footed shot on and sailed up and over. And I think he definitely wanted to obviously get it on net, but I think he wanted to keep that a heck of a lot lower than that shot came off.
Brendan Hoffman comes in, number 23 for Liquier for Castleton. Hilton bangs it out to the center circle, back into Lyndon territory. Hoffman trying to get to it along the far side. As Roswell looks at it going across the line, across the way, and Roswell on the throw-in for the Spartans. 26:45 to go here in regulation. It's 2-1. Lyndon State, the NAC semis. Winner goes on to the final on Saturday. Bullard send it behind Lumumba. Not to look ahead and presuppose anything, but the ECAC tournament, is that only for teams rated in 1 or 2, or is that for, I don't want to put you on a spot there, but even if either one of these teams should, well, all right, double check on that about what teams are eligible for the ECAC tournament, teams that don't advance in the NAC. Bueller. Blocked. Bang back into Castleton territory. Meacham back to get it, Ian Hunter. And it'll be Lyndon State on the throw-in along the near side. Lumumba trying to get to it. Now here's Costa. Moves it ahead on the right wing along the far side. Catrotti couldn't quite run it down. Throw in for Haskell for Lyndon State. Haskell number 11. Costa getting it from Roswell. Chips it along the far side. Hoffman couldn't get to it. Banged back into the Castleton side of the field. Trying to head it was Coyle. And it will be the throw-in for Haskell. Or actually a restart. Here's the restart. All the way through. Bullard number 17 had control of it, knocked out, and it's going to be a corner for Lyndon. I believe they're second. Through the area. Toward the arc. Curl.
Well, Jack, the information that I was able to gather up was that the conference, the NAC conference, is a one-bid conference. So it would basically be whoever the champion of the conference would be would get that bid to the NCAAs.
No, I don't mean the NCAA. I mean the ECAC tournament, which is a different tournament. I know the conference. It's another tournament. It's the ECAC tournament. I realize the conference champion goes ahead, but I'm talking about where do they draw the line on the ECAC bid? which is another tournament. For example, last year, Castleton was eliminated in the NAC, but did play in the ECAC tournament after they were eliminated.
And what I'm getting right now is that there is a possibility that they would receive a bid to that. I guess it probably goes down to schedule and points and so on and so forth. So it does look like there would be a glimmer of hope there. Again, a lot of time left, Jack, with 23 minutes left.
Actually, I was looking at it from the point
both
of view
sides,
of either side. I'm not sure if you had to finish in the top two, had to finish in first place, had to advance at least for the Final Four. I'm not sure there's the criteria on that. But you're right, a long way to go in this one. We'll worry about any of that stuff if and when it happens. Is the immediate concern by both these clubs is to win the NAC championship. Here's Catrati inside the 18. Catrati now feeds it toward the top of the box, but back out, and it is Jacob Roswell. See Hoffman down the middle. Hoffman parked right about at the arc for Castleton. Back out to the 35. Moved on through. Here's Catrati, and he couldn't quite get to it. Neither could Costa, but the Spartans still in control. Here's Catrati in the box. Catrati knocked down. Is it going to be is it a possibility here? No call.
Boy, that's a tough call for an official to make, certainly in a semifinal
I was
game.
thinking of a penalty shot.
And there's certainly a case to be made. Certainly a case to be made on Castleton's side as Trevor Catrati went down.
Lumumba down the middle, but he can't get to it. Coming out at the top of the 18 to knock it away, LaCroix. Catrati immediately got up. Catrati, a little individual battle there with Haskell. I don't know if we got that. You talked about putting your hands in the cookie jar. It's sort of like, doing that when Mama's not looking. Throw in for Lyndon State, 21-10 to go here in regulation. 2-1 Lyndon State, the NAC semi, and men's soccer Lumumba. Can do it all, huh? Yeah. Back heel pass attempt there. Ferry moves it into Lyndon territory, back out toward the 35, back to the center circle. Ferry on the left along the near side. Jonas with it. Jonas on a battle with Curl. And it will be the throw in Castleton. Bueller. This is Ian Hunter, number 13. Lumumba knocks it down. Hunter again spins around. Roswell on the right wing. Back at the edge of the 18 to Hunter. Hunter on Hilton. Knocked down by Lumumba. Hunter again. Back out to Roswell.
You can see Lyndon really starting to pack things in the backfield as they're going to defense first. Lumumba came all the way back inside the 18 to help on defense there. He's a forward. He's coming all the way back.
Moves it on through the area, through the goalkeeper's box, and they can't connect, and kicked out of there from the top of the box. Back to the center circle. Bueller, Jonas 22, and tripped up there by Coyle, and he's pleading his case. Moved on through the area. Knocked across by Bullard. Catrati now on the throw-in.
It looks like it's going to be a goal kick coming out for Lyndon State.
It'll be Hilton. Oh, they do have the coach's name on the... I was looking to see if they had the coach's name on the roster. They do. Kellaway. I mentioned Coach Kellaway, but I got that off the website, which was from last year, so I was hoping he was still there. course, John Werner, the legendary John Werner for Spartans. This is Sherman. Now Costa plays it. Jacob Ferry, number 15, back to Costa on the left wing. Moves it through the area. Catrati now here is Roswell. The header coming out is Gray.
What a great opportunity.
Big time save right there.
What a great opportunity for Castleton as that ball was going back and forth in front of the goal mouth. And it was, you're almost saying who's going to get this shot off finally. And Jason Gray was at the end of the shot that finally came on as a header as he went from one side of the goal all the way to the near side to protect that close post.
Well, Roswell had it on the right. I believe that was Sherman who he robbed there, number 16. I don't know if we have another look at it here, Mike, of that big-time save by Gray.
Yeah, Jack, you're going to see the ball start on the near side here. It's going to come all the way across, then come back where it originated from. This is a heck of a lot of area for a goalie to have to try to cover.
That's where Costa knocked it down.
Nice move right there. Right on top of the 18. That's Costa right there with the ball as he's going to put it up and over. Now you see he's coming all the way to the far side post, protecting on that far side. Now it's going to come all the way back. He's got to cover that entire ground, Gray that is, and make it gets the hand out there, the left hand, and knocks it down. That shot was on.
That was Sherman.
We're going to have another, away from the play, Jack, I believe we're going to have another corner from the far side coming for Castleton right now. Another great opportunity for them to try to get back on the board.
It'll be Costa on the corner. Castleton was putting on a little pressure while we were away to look at that replay of the save by Gray. Castleton picking it up offensively here. And a corner coming up. It's 2-1 Lyndon State with 16:30 to go in regulation here in men's soccer. The NAC semis through the goalkeeper's box. Sherman there, but knocked away at about the 10 out to the half line. Roswell with it.
Well, you mentioned that Castleton's picking up the offense. I think a lot of that has to do with that little extracurricular activity right there, but the referee's going to let it play on. But I think a lot of the reason why Castleton's getting some opportunities right now is Lyndon is really packing it in defensively. They've kind of abandoned, since they're up by a goal, they've a bit abandoned their offensive game right now.
Sort of like a prevent defense you might have in football.
Exactly.
15:50 to go here in regulation. Lyndon with a 2-1 lead. The winner advances to the championship game Saturday, November 6th, as Lumumba parked at about the 10, and over is LaCroix. Was headed out by Lyndon State as the throw-in for Roswell. Costa to Roswell. Along the far side. Went by Hoffman. Now Hilton plays it for Lyndon State. Out to the center circle, knocked down by Bueller, who's got the Castleton goal in the first half at the time, giving the Spartans a 1-0 lead. Through the area, Catrati. Costa there, went behind him. Back now to Bueller. Picked up by Gray. And he'll boom it out of there with the wind. Coyle. Lumumba tried to get behind Hunter, but Hunter played it to Bueller. And it sails out along the far side. The throw-in for Lyndon State's Luke Haskell.
Number 13, O'Brien, checking in for Lyndon State right now.
And played a little bit in the first half. Andrew O'Brien. Costa. To Ferry. Jonas, number 22, brings it toward the middle of the field. Roswell on the right wing. Moves it through the area. Hoffman can't get to it. Back out to the top of the arc and knocked out of trouble by the Hornets. Hilton lost it to Bueller. Bueller on the left wing. Bueller moves it toward the middle. Now Lund bounces it all the way in. Gray with the easy save. He'll boom it out of there with the wind. Hunter and Lumumba. Lumumba knocked down. He might have been shaken up.
Yeah, he was taken down pretty hard right there, Jack, as he got his leg kind of caught underneath. And I'm not sure if the call was made or not. I do know it. Ball went off on the sideline right there. Yeah, he is calling a foul. So this is a dangerous territory, right to the near side corner of the box. I'd say probably about 23 yards out, maybe a titch more than that. So you see a two-man wall being set up right there, protecting that near side, as Lyndon will overload the other side.
Here's O'Brien moving it on through. Coyle trying to get ahead on that, but Lumumba with it along the left wing far side. Out to Haskell. Moves it in on LaCroix, top of the box. A little bit of a collision there.
And the call is going to be made right there, as they're saying that LaCroix had possession of the ball. Both those players met almost at the same time, and that is kind of dangerous. I think the foul more so is going to be called that number 5 for Lyndon.
Yeah, that's Meacham.
Meacham went in with the cleats up, and usually the referees will make that call if you go in with the cleats up.
On the near side, Sherman, number 16 for Castleton. 12:05 to go in regulation, and Lyndon has a 2-1 lead. Moved on the right, it is Jacob Roswell. Castleton, number 3 in white. Tried to move it through the area, but Wind took that one somewhat and put it toward the arc, and knocked back toward the center circle by Lyndon. Back for Jonas Hunter there, number 13. Hunter up the middle. Looked like Coyle is shaken up behind the play. Bueller on the left wing along the near side. Cross inside the 18. And it's bounced in by Jacob Berry. T. Coyle is back up. He's okay for Lyndon State, number 10. That's Coyle there. It went by him. Lumumba there inside the 18. Roswell knocked it back toward Jonas, and LaCroix comes over for it.
That's about the second time that the big punt from Jason Gray in net for Lyndon has bounced all the way down and practically inside of the area, inside the penalty kick area for Lyndon. That's a great offensive tool right there when you can try to play it up, certainly to Lumumba, who's waiting for it on the doorstep practically.
Ferry to Hoffman to Catrotti on the right wing. Castleton and White back to Hoffman. Knocked out across the way by Haskell. A throw in for Castleton Roswell. 10:30 to go in regulation. 2-1 Lyndon State on a pair of goals by Patrice Lumumba. Moved through the area. Went behind Hoffman. Now Costa. Back out to Jonas. Top of the 18. Here's the shot, and it goes in wide. And Jonas is just furious down there as Lumumba takes a breather here. Number 21, Richard Hackett, is in for Lumumba.
Well, that's a big move up front right now as, again, I think Lyndon is starting to shift to defense first with less than 9 minutes left. And, Jack, this is a tough spot for Castleton to be because now you're playing two opponents. You're playing the one on the field, and, of course, you're playing the one on the clock because more and more that clock ticks down, the less time you have to try to get back on the board and tie this game up.
Roswell. That's O'Brien, number 13 for Lyndon State, and Meacham, number 5. And Bueller has got the goal for Castleton, moves it in, far side on the right wing, Catrotti. Roswell. Hunter comes over. On the restart, Ian Hunter, number 13. Has to move it back a couple of yards. Inside the 18. Back outside the 18. Long shot, Lund, and well wide.
Again, Castleton getting some good opportunities right here as they're pouring on the defense. They just can't seem to finish it off.
There's your score, Lyndon 2, Castleton 1. There's your time, 8:50, upper right-hand corner, remaining here in regulation. The NAC semis in men's soccer. The other semi going on today's main, Farmington and Thomas. The winner of that game will meet the winner of this one for the championship next Saturday. O'Brien try to connect. That's where Lumumba would have been. That's Hackett. Number 21 back out toward the 35. Roswell along the far side. Out to Catrati.
Wow, a little ticky-tack foul called behind the play, or actually right on the play. It's going to be just inside. I'd call it about the 45 or so. So Castleton will have this free kick restart. Yeah,
didn't like it.
And Hunter's going to have the opportunity to send it in.
That's a shot of the crowd here. Pretty good crowd here at Spartan Stadium. Hunter still looks to run it down. Collision, Roswell on the right wing. Roswell in deep, trying to chip it on through, but well out of play.
Yeah, Hunter had chased that one down as it came off of the one-man wall that was out there. I believe that was Coyle that set up, and it hit off of his back and sailed down. I think everyone in the place thought it was going to go out of bounds, but Ian Hunter realized that it wasn't. He was back on it.
Jack Healey, Mike Coppinger. Mike, the assistant girls soccer coach at Rutland High School in Rutland, Vermont, and Weston Wheeler's our producer. Here's Lund, center circle, right wing. It is Catrati. Tough angle, right on through. Hoffman went behind him. Left wing, Costa, knocked out of the area. (15) Ferry out front now, Bueller. Bueller moves it on through and out is Gray. Little bit of a collision there with Roswell.
Yeah, Castleton was crashing the net, Jack, right there. As we have an injured player down right now.
So they stopped the clock at 6:15 to go in regulation. Lyndon stayed out front 2-1.
And I got to tell you, I think it's going to hurt Castleton a little bit as they were really starting to drive right there. Using your word, keeping the momentum going in the game. And it looks like Coyle's the one that's hurt. It might be a cramp.
Well, I'm a big believer in momentum within a game.
Within a game, yeah.
I mean, game two game.
Yeah.
Brown is in for Coyle.
That's a big change right there, Jack. Coyle was doing a great job up front, being an offensive threat and switching up right here. We'll see how that plays throughout the 6 minutes and 15 seconds we have left in this game.
There's Hilton. Hackett is 21 for Lyndon State. It'll be the restart Castle and coming down on 6 minutes to go in regulation. Getting to that time now where you, not quite, but you know, desperation time if you're Castle and trailing here when it's, of course, a tournament game like this. Well, this Lyndon contingent is rather loud. Certainly hearing from or off to our left as we look in across the way. To your right, if you're looking at your screen, I assume you are. On the right wing, Roswell. Along the far side, Costa to Lund. Jonas.
Wow, foul called right. Yeah, this is a dangerous one right here as we are going to stop the clock. It's coming up a little bit limp, but this is really dangerous here, Jack, as this is a great opportunity. Somewhat in front of the net. You have a lot of net to shoot at, and you're going to see Lyndon set up probably at least a 4-man wall, maybe even 5. And the referee's going to march this back. You have to be 10 yards back on any free kick, and this will be a direct since it was a trip. So you'll see the wall pull back. You see Trevor Catrati, or Costa, over the ball.
Yeah, Costa's going to take the free kick.
And everyone else at Castleton is right up. Everyone on the field is right up.
Here it is. Costa moves it through the area. Bouncing toward the top of the goalkeeper's box and knocked out of trouble by Haskell. Out toward the center part of the field. Lund trying to play it, but there is Meacham. On the right wing to Simpson along the near side. Simpson feeds it down for O'Brien, and he scores. Andrew O'Brien, oh my, it's 3-1. Lyndon State. Huge goal with 4:52 to go in regulation.
Well, Jack, that was just a well-executed transition right there. As that play came off of that restart for Castleton, and the only person that was coming back on a full head of steam was Josh Costa, and he came all the way back and basically was the only one giving any kind of defense as Lyndon State moved the ball from one side to the other, and LaCroix came out to try to smother that ball. Unfortunately, was just a little bit shy, but nevertheless, Lyndon goes up 3-1 with just minutes left, and we're going to see this replay right now. And this was well after, Jack. This is played over the 50. You can see that Costa's coming back to try to give some sort of defensive pressure. Ball's going to be crossed into the middle. Nicely done. You can see LaCroix. You can see LaCroix coming out of the net to try to smother this, but was just a fingertip away and actually came off of a Castleton player right there. That might have gone wide. But that quite possibly, Jack, could be the nail in the coffin for Castleton.
Well, it's 3-1. It's certainly desperation time now, trailing by 2 goals. If you're looking at it from Castleton's point of view, it's desperation time for sure, 3-1. I believe that goal was unassisted, even though it was Simpson, but you said it went off a...
From what I could see, it clicked off of a cleat of a Castleton player right there, but the original ball was put on.
Catrati.
By Catrati, yeah.
Catrati on the right wing. Lyndon in good shape now, leading at 3-1 as the number 4 seed on the verge of upsetting the number 1 seed in the NAC tournament here in the semis. Castleton led 1-0 at one time. 3 unanswered goals by the Hornets. That's Simpson again, who came down to the right wing. I give him credit. I mean, he had a lot to do with that. He was bringing it into the area. O'Brien probably had the easiest job of all, the guy that scored the goal.
He just needed to put it somewhere relatively close on net, and good things would happen as the goalie was out, coming out to try to play it.
Roswell. Chip back out. Hackett with it. Roswell. To Hunter. Bueller trying to get to it at the 40. Catrati tried to get to it. Lyndon can do this all day. Roswell. Hoffman on a chase. Hoffman a little bit of a collision with Hilton and banged down along the far side. It'll be a throw-in for Castleton with 2:20 to go in the game. 3-1 Lyndon. Roswell. Throws it toward the top of the arc, headed in. Here's Hoffman, and he can't quite get to it. Gray comes out. Gray has been tremendous. Mike Coppinger will be going down for our post-game show. He'll be talking to Peter Kellaway if indeed Lyndon State hangs on, and they're a minute 52 away from advancing to the final. As you talked about, certainly I agree, 9-0-1 this decade. Castleton, and here's Hoffman. Can he get to it? And again, banged out across the way.
Yeah, 9-0-1.
Nothing to do with this game.
And it has nothing to do. It's all about who shows up and plays the hardest. And Lyndon has certainly got the goals when they needed it to, and it poured on the offensive pressure.
Bueller trying to feed it on through, knocked out toward the 35, and just poked ahead by Meacham. Have all the time in the world here. Minute 15 to go in the game, and Lyndon State has a 3-1 lead. Hunter to Roswell on the right wing along the far side. Ferry, Catrati inside the 18. Feeds it through the middle. Bouncing ball. Hoffman Came out Gray there to smother it with 50 seconds to go in the game. And the fans here from Lyndon State are on their feet, and they have been vocal as they come in here to Spartan Stadium on the verge of pulling off the upset. Nice play there by O'Brien, who got the insurance goal. Jonas, 22 seconds to go in the game. Jonas trying to feed it through the area. Back out Lund. 15 seconds left. Lyndon State will advance to the title game on Saturday. 8 seconds left. Hilton. And that is it, and Lyndon State has won it. Lyndon State upsetting Castleton here in the NAC semis in men's soccer. Lyndon wins it by a score of 3-1. So the number 4 seed advances to the title game next Saturday, as Castleton does not get the job done here. The number 1 seed, they got a bye to the semis, and certainly a band of disappointed Spartans here on the field at Spartan Stadium. We'll be going down below. Mike Coppinger will be talking to, among others, victorious Lyndon State coach Peter Kellaway, as the Lyndon State Hornets advance to the NAC championship game. We'll be back to wrap it up at our post-game show after this timeout from Castleton.
Why did I choose Castleton?
Castleton is big enough, so there's a lot to do. It's small enough so I can really get involved.
Sports.
Theater and music.
Radio and TV.
Internships and community service. There's a real sense of community.
And lots of opportunity.
And Castleton is in Vermont.
That means hiking, biking, skiing, and riding.
Visit castleton.edu to learn more about Castleton.
Winning coach Peter Kellaway of Lyndon State College. Coach, upset win today, coming all the way down here to play. Came right out of the gates, and you guys were ready to play. So congratulations on the win today.
Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. It was a great team. That Castleton team is a great side. They're well coached. We were fortunate to get a couple of breaks early on some goals, but it was a great game for sure.
So we were saying, up in the booth, we were looking over the stats, and the seeds being what they were, actually on paper, stats-wise, you guys were pretty evenly matched up.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a hiccup here when we came down to play Castleton early in the season. We just, for one reason or another, we didn't play well. But today was a little bit different. Obviously, a lot more on the line today, and they came out to play.
You try to analyze things certainly before the game. Castleton having the bye, you guys had to play Maine Maritime, I believe it was, a little bit not that long ago. So Castleton was on the sidelines resting a little bit. You guys kind of kept the momentum going and playing. How much stock do you put into that?
Tremendous amount. I mean, with the layoff, I think you get a little bit stale, and you just kind of wait around and wait around. I really think it was to our benefit to have played Maine Maritime ahead of time, for sure.
So let's start in the backfield. Your goal. Jason Gray just played phenomenal for you, came up with some huge saves when you needed it. He seemed like he was on his game from the very beginning.
Yeah, Jason's a tremendous athlete. He's from Thetford, Vermont, and he, 6'4", and when he puts his arms out, he just basically covers the entire net. So, I mean, he was dead on today. He was motivated, and obviously we reaped the reward.
And then, again, moving up, it's hard to overlook Patrice Labamba, who just played phenomenal for you, getting 2 big goals. Obviously, the goal that put you ahead in the winning goal today was obviously your biggest offensive threat.
Yeah, Patrice, typically we bring him off the bench and put him in the game, but today, obviously, it's a large game, so we wanted to get him on the field as soon as possible. Scored a great goal to get things going for us, and, hey, they just didn't quit.
And you had a great contingent of fans here tonight that was supporting you, that we heard all the way up in the booth there.
Yeah, obviously, Lyndon State, we've kind of brought along a lot of fans through the season with our success, and they came right down to support us. It was great. We tip our cap to them and hope they come see us in Waterville.
And Coach, the last thing, you obviously are going to play the winner of Thomas and Farmington, and I didn't have a chance to look at your record between either one of those teams earlier on in the season.